We're talking about VQ constantly having that additional player blaze in those team fights where PK was lacking.
And see, the thing is about it is that, you know, of course, all these guys want to be great teammates, right? Every single team that we have in our pro league want to be great teammates, but it's good to have individual skill, but having an individual mindset in a team game is really what hurts squads, because you go out here, because sometimes things don't mesh because it takes one player to say, to get what I need to do here, like, does my teammate need help? Where do I need to be for the squad? Not what I think I need to do, or what's the best position for me to come out here, shine, and get kills. Is that what I need to be doing in this moment? And I feel like a lot of players on VQ are selfless like that in the right moments to help their teammates shine. Now, that individualness, it's great to have that individual skill, but sometimes, man, you got to be able to put what you want to do aside and do it for the squad.
That's the truth, man. Reflame picks up a big elimination, or at least a down on Acells. He can try and get out of there. He's going to be dropped himself. I say that's big, and the reason why is because it stops, you know, VQ from going for the OE, or at least Team Queso from going for the OE. But they're still there, and they have some presence. They had a great initial. You know, it wasn't dominant for them per se, but you can already see that the writing is on the wall. Team Queso is going in for the domination, and they're going to get it. VQ, you better wake up. Like you said, Blaze, Team Queso is looking to stink up the predictions, and they might. I want to talk about channel points. 850,000 to 40,000 for VQ. So there's a lot of channel points that are about to be lost if Team Queso comes through and comes through big.
Whew, a lot indeed, man. We'll see if that happens now. If you guys been watching VQ perform, we know how that first round usually goes for these boys. There's something about it. You know, they just got to get their thumbs warm in the first 30 seconds of the matchup. Regardless of the fact, Team Queso, they absolutely dominated them in round number 1. Botox are going to get placed down here on the secondaries, Taylor. As you know, that's going to be standard. Now, let's see how this initial is going to break down. Notice one thing. A lot of teams aren't sending, you know, 2 players towards Cinema anymore. They keep it out as like a 1v1 location and focusing this fight from the middle towards the lower portion of the map.
Yeah, I think they understand the middle portion is your main focal point, right? Because then you can just go through the neutral position, maybe through Juice, and just go straight over and get that double home hill to home hill. And you can always send a player back who dies off the beginning over to B, right? And you could focus your attention on going in for the domination. It makes sense. And you're right, we haven't seen as much attention down in Cinema. We'll see it now, though. That's because Team Queso, once again, great mid-battle. They take care of business. They handle their own. Now we got Hndles, though. He's trying to be sneaky, and I think he's going to catch Reflame off guard. He's going to pepper him up, and now Absenz is there. Hndles, what are you going to do? Now you're in a 1v2 and you're going to drop. I understand the situation there. He tried, but Team Queso 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, Team Queso was definitely waiting for him there. Now they're going to have their home hill locked in, B hill locked in as well. And we're watching here from the perspective of Team Queso controlling this B hill. And they can pretty much got 2 to 3 players in this area of the map. At this point, folks, they just want a 2-to-1 hill setup. They don't want to try to do too much here. But down low, Acells wins a big fight for his team, and Team Queso has to quickly shift the map back over so they can protect their home hill.
7 and 8, they're going to be applying that pressure. Acells and Hndles duoing it up. Reflame's waiting for his teammate to come off the respawn. That's going to be Absenz, and looks as if, well, Absenz going to go ahead and go at it alone in that 1v2. Meanwhile, though, you see that B battle taking place, and VQ is going to win that. So they're going to swing the odds back in their favor. More importantly, they might get a domination, and I think they just locked it in. So well done from Acells, holding his ground. You know, looking at a potential 1v2, I think it's a missed opportunity, though, for Team Queso. They had the numbers on Acells at that moment. They should have just pressed him. They should have took over their home and at least had that insurance because they knew they were losing B.
Well, the thing is that I feel like the rest of the squad, man, they were settled in their 2-to-1 hill setup because the players at B, their feet was planted. The guy who was in info was shifting back and forth. He was kind of shifted towards the bandstand side of the map because he knew his teammate got into a fight. And I think VQ just made a big play, specifically Acells in that 1v1 down low, to really, you know, make Team Queso uncomfortable right there for them to get the round back.
Are you ready to kick some ass?
Okay, here we go. Round number 3. Look, you mentioned some teams are sluggish to get off the start, and it brought me back flashbacks. Again, VQ always loses round 1, right? That was something that they were absolutely known for, of course, missing Reptilian, but still, the core 4 here, they just don't do well in round 1. They always got to get those nerves out of the way, maybe get those thumbs warmed up. But now it's round 3. Is VQ going to be able to take this and take that 2-to-1 lead? Well, we'll definitely find out. For Vital Sound, he's trying to turn up. Reflame is going to shut him right down. So Team Queso, they'll lose 3 members. Even though Vital Sound loses a life, hey, VQ's still going to be in the driver's seat, but no one's been able to get on B. This mid battle has been the main focal point.
Yeah, it has been the main focal point, and it looks like VQ will come out on top with that one. So they're going to have some mid-map control, and they are pressing for this home hill. Acells with a big down, but he could not get the cleanup. Tried to go for a big double kill to lock this round in for his team, but you know, that's a high-risk play there, and it would have won them the round. But in the end, VQ, they still got 2 hills to their name. They're going to back up, and as we see, Absenz from across map was able to pick up a down there to put himself in a position with a Retro Lancer to possibly decap the C hill. But as we see, he's going to disengage there because his teammates, they found a hill up top, or at least they're fighting for it.
They are fighting. Oh, Vital Sound's trying to be slippery, get away. He can't. He's going to be dropped. Reflame's Lancered out, but still, VQ holds on to B despite the presence from Team Queso, and it's going to open up the door for Reflame to get challenged down low. Should be able to get the decap here, and he will, but you got another player who's still going to be in that vicinity, ready to take them out. That's player 5. That's going to be Precision. He's dropped. Now B should go into the hands of Team Queso despite it. Well, I don't know. Vital Sound's going to be able to Lancer, and so is that other player of Hndles, but yeah, they still lock it in. Not going to be able to take 2 players down.
Yeah, Addvers goes down for that cap, but quickly notifies his teammate of it. So Team Queso, they're in a beautiful position here. How the hell is VQ gonna break the setup? They got about 10 seconds before the next lead change comes through, and they're gonna identify the numbers on the map. They got a 3v3 fight up top at B, and they're gonna try to isolate one of the players here in this fight. We'll focus on Addvers here. Hndles, he gets stunned. He has to slow it down, but he still has one more stun in his back pocket. Not going to connect. Now it's just going to be a scrappy 2v2 fight straight up. You got to push through the front door, but as you see, the defense is too strong, Taylor.
Oh, it absolutely is in both regards. Player 3 was challenged on the other end by Precision. He ended up winning that fight, and that's Absenz. That's the man on your screen, and that's why Charlie is being locked in, and that's why the domination is going to occur. Very well done on both ends, whether it be on Bandstand or Cinema. All fights are won for Team Queso, and that's encouraging to say the least. Again, they've had their struggles. They played against Pittsburgh Knights. They lost 10-1. I was very worried going into the second week when they had the face-off against Vanquish. But at least for now, they do have the lead. They're holding on. I'm very curious to see what VQ has up their sleeves because this matchup is a lot more even than I was expecting.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially early on in this map. VQ, man, being down in that last round, they really got the best thing they could have asked for, which was man-on-man fights across the map. And that's when you got to outperform your opponent when you're in a difficult situation, just like how you're going to have these man-on-man fights to kick off the round, Taylor. And Reflame, not showing any fear, pushes back his guy quickly, turns this engagement into a 3v2 for his team. He missed the first shot, couldn't put much damage on the second player, but with Crabyys behind him, he will have that assistance to try to get through, at least be annoying on their opponent's side of the map. If they stay alive here, that's crucial.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be critical, but Team Queso looks like they might be falling apart. Player 4's last up. It's going to be Crabyys trying to hold his own in that 1v2. Great shot onto the first. Hndles drops, but Precision's going to get the pickup. And Acells, he was instrumental in stopping Team Queso, or at least being a hindrance, a nuisance, if you will, because he was lancering out from the mid position once Team Queso was going for the overextension. He's also the reason why B was locked in place to get VQ that 2-1 hill advantage. Now it's up to Team Queso to continue pushing VQ out, but it seems as if they're having some struggles. Craby's going to get the pickup, but still not in a safe situation. Precision, he's ducking and diving. He's sliding in. He's going to take down Crabyys. Hits a nice shot in Addvers, but not going to be enough. But still, VQ are deep in Team Queso's spine.
Oh, man, they are deep indeed, but they're going to have to disengage here, back up. Don't want to give their opponents too much because they got a nice sizable lead to the point where their opponent has to push into whatever setup they want to ensue there. Now, over here towards B Hill, you see this big 1v1. Absenz goes down quickly here towards the Acells. Kill cleaned up. He's going to line himself up for another 1v1. He gets stunned. Back row, steps up, knocks him down. VQ is going to keep control over this B Hill, Taylor. They have a nice little home hill set up with 3 players on this side of the map, and they're going to press for a little bit more. See what their opponent's going to give them.
And Precision is, nice shot from Acells. And Precision, I was going to point out, is still down low. He's actually going to get chunked as soon as I bring him up. Vital Sound, though, is going to get the cleanup on 1. That's 3 down for Team Queso. VQ has a tremendous lead at this point in time. So Team Queso Blades, we see the writing on the wall. They basically have one more attempt to take this round, or else VQ is going to take it for themselves and tie it up going into the second half.
Yeah, this is Team Queso's last team fight, and it's going to take Crabyys to win a big 1v1 against Vital down low, and Vital's going to be getting some help soon. B-Hill is going to be given up here by VQ, parking a bus. Queso can smell it, but they lose the fights up top. Nobody able to get back for the revive on Reflame, and you're going to see this gets all tied up 2-2.
Much better round for VQ. Good job for them to lock it in place. We'll now transfer that neutral hill from Cinema down to Bandstand. We'll get to see how that fight ensues because no one has a big lead, right? It's all tied up 2-2, I assume. We're still going to see your typical shocks come into play, maybe your ensigns as well. No center lines as of yet. And honestly, I don't think either team wants a center line. They don't want anything in Bandstand either or Cinema because right now, honestly, slaying power, pretty neck and neck, right? I think that just rounds are coming down to just who's going to get that OE, who's going to win that big team battle, right? Once they meet up 3v3. Could be VQ, could be Team Queso. It's been very back and forth.
Yeah, and it has been very back and forth. And I think that here in the second half, one team's going to pull away. We've seen a lot of these fights be geared towards that lower portion of the map at Bandstand, but now we're going to have the neutral hill down there on this side of the map. So if that team fight is won, squad should be able to get set up a little bit quicker than they did in the first half. We'll see how that breaks down. 2v2 fight in the middle, 2v2 fight down low. Precision versus Reflame down here in this area. And Precision trying to connect with that back eight. Got a little aggressive. Vital tried to save him and clean it up, make it worth something, but they both fall. And now their teammates will get pinched in this area. Hndles laying down some beautiful shots, but he's going to fall, and it's just going to be up to Acells. 1v4. Can he take one to the grave? He cannot. He's going to get staggered on that respawn.
And that's a big win for Team Queso. And at this point, VQ, they're going to allocate their numbers to their home hill because they know Team Queso, look, we have a chance that they're going to be over there, and they are there. Bit of a misroll from Addvers. Precision's going to sit him down. Crabyys also gone as well. So that's 2 out for Team Queso, and it's going to open up the door for VQ to potentially go for this overextension. Player 5's already going to be at Delta, so he's going to go for the decap. He might stick it. I assume he's going to rotate out. Actually, he's going to go ahead and stick it. I assume player 2, Addvers, coming off the respawn for Team Queso was going to go in, but he doesn't. VQ's going to put their attention back in that mid fight, but Absenz with the retro, man, that's gonna hurt.
Especially as VQ has to push downhill into that hill, downhill into the E hill. Absenz with this retro, man, just locking down both lanes, and VQ know that it was no chance that they would be able to decap that one. So we see them plan for the 2 hill advantage. They will be able to get multiple kills on their side of the map. They know where Absenz is, and they're going to just keep this hill locked in. They're going to follow them, try to take their numbers, get rid of this retro lancer because they got full faith in their teammates across map to win their fight, as we saw Precision pick up that double kill on top of the D hill.
Not necessarily a fan of Absen's position there. I think he was just caught out, right? But put himself in a 1v2. That allowed VQ to use their numbers once again, and that was something, again, that you highlighted when they were playing against Pittsburgh Knights. So definitely not the way to go about it. For Precision, he's going to get chunked, but again, so much time has been wasted. Domination's in there, and VQ locks it in 3-2. Team Queso got a little bit messy towards the later portion of that round. They spread their numbers a bit too thin, but that's because VQ forced them to, right? They went home hill to home hill. They had 2 members on one hill, 2 members on the other, and for Team Queso, man, that's just a long jaunt over. So for Absenz, he was isolated, nothing he could do. He had to challenge, he couldn't wait, right? So good job from VQ, playing their numbers correctly and playing the objective game more importantly, Blaze. I think that's been the biggest storyteller here, is how well both teams are playing objectively.
You know, as a squad, if all else fails, play the objective. If you don't know what's the next push to make, what's the objective? Home the map here. Are you winning? Do you have to force the domination? Can you just win off of points? And with so many secondary weapons on the map, home hill setups are super strong when you just need to play for points and you're not playing for that immediate victory here. And VQ is good at communicating, getting their numbers, and making sure that they can play as many man advantages as they can on the map.
Team Queso's been winning this mid battle so well. For Precision, he tries to get that early poke, but he's going to be lancered out. He will live. Luckily, Vital Sam's going to be in that bandstand. If he's not there, Precision, he's down. He's going to be finished off, but he's going to go ahead and go back mid to go for a poke. Meanwhile, though, for 1 and 4, Reflame and Absenz, they're going to, or excuse me, Reflame as well as Crabyys, they're on the OE. They're challenging Acells, who's dancing around trying to stay up. We saw the writing on the wall. He's going to drop off, so well done from Team Queso to react. They've been hitting the mid position hard. This time, they gave it up, throwing audible, and now they're going to take the 2-1 hill advantage. Or I think so.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Well, no, they will not, because player 5, he isn't fully highlighted over there, but you see his number kind of on top of that F hill, making some plays, decapping his opponent's home hill. And on the flipping of the map, as Team Queso started to progress forward, as if they had their home hill locked in, they get caught out, they get pinched. VQ here in a dominant position to pull away with this lead. They just need to wait for all teammates to spawn up and make it difficult here to regain this E heal. As you see, Hndles is doing just that.
Yeah, I saw Reflame, man. It looked like he was going to challenge Hndles over on Bandstand, but I'm like, don't do it, man. You're going to just get lancered out. You're going to throw your life away, much like your teammate did in the previous round. It's just not worth it at that point. So now Team Queso back to the drawing board, but they've got some heavy numbers down low on E. We can see exactly where they're going to be going very shortly. Hndles got that utility in hand. I assume Team Queso also has their own. Yes, they do. And I think it's going to go ahead and be thrown out. Hndles going to dip out. No reason to keep that position, I suppose. So he wants to create as much distance as possible, but it only has 8 rounds to that retro, so it's not going to play too much of an impact.
Oh, shit. 8 rounds go a long way with the retro lance in this situation, especially in a 2v2. Hell, that's enough to possibly get it down, get to 1 full rare for your teammate to get in there with a shotgun and put in that final blow. Exactly. So we'll see if he chooses to use those 8 shots and how influential it'll be. But an aggressive push here through mid-map. Team Queso takes precision out of Juice. They spring into action. They go for the cleanup on Hndles, but Absenz just misses the shot there. Would have set his team up for a 1v1 to possibly retake control of E. But now this is going to be a 2v2 fight. Vital has plenty of shots at his retro lancer, and him and his teammate are watching both sides of the stairs. They're in a good position to defend against this E-Hill and keep the lead for their squad so their teammates can come off respawn.
It's a big hurrah for Team Queso. They're committing a lot. They're putting their numbers down low. They want to win this fight, but VQ is answering right back with numbers of their own. Crabyys, though, instrumental. Hey, Gutsky gets one, and he also gets to trade. I know he trades out, he loses his life, but now Hndles doesn't have the positioning anymore. It's no longer a 3v2 or a 3v3. It's now 1v2. Hndles caught up in the corner. He's getting lancered out. That was a great win for Team Queso. They're going to be able to recover, I believe, the win condition. And VQ now, they're going to be on the back pedal to try and take control.
But Precision's off respawn, making 200 IQ plays. Decapped his opponent's home hill. He is being a nuisance on their side of the map, and he's telling his team, he's like, guys, I'm gonna bring as many of these guys as close to their spawn as possible. Cap the heals, get the points, get the map control. And he gets a little bit of help, but I don't even know if that was the play in that moment. I think that the rest of the members of VQ had to either go towards E or try to cap this home hill. And in these final few moments here, Precision's efforts will be null and void, because I don't see VQ coming back into this map.
Oh, man, that's heartbreaking, too. They were so close, Blaze. They were really, like you said, being a nuisance, going for the OE. Just Team Queso got the better end of the bargain towards the ends, and at this point, VQ can get a hill all they want. It's not going to help them. Team Queso will take that round. 4 minutes, man. We don't see that too often. And again, it's just a battle of attrition, brother. Like, this has been just so incredibly close. Loving what I'm seeing. But what was the final nail in the coffin, right? Why was Team Queso able to turn it around right in the last portion? Was it those trades that Crabyys got? Remember, he picked up those 2 players in Bandstand.
Yeah, no, that was a big trade right there. And that ultimately led for his team to win another fight down low at E and get it locked in. But Precision, he kind of countered that. When he decapped his opponent's home hill was in spawn, his squad had the lead in that moment. I think that when VQ saw their brother fight on the other end of the map, somebody was like, we got to help him. Get there now. And in actuality, they got to say, bro, stay alive as long as you can, okay? Use that movement, put out damage, take one to the grave. We need to go use our numbers at E to make sure that we got the best advantage that we can in the late game.
All right, all tied up 3-3, and you know, I really don't have to say it, but I'll just point it out. Team Queso takes this map and leads 1-0 in the series. They are already going to exceed my expectations from their week 1 performance to week 2. But Blaze, you said it in the pre-show, man, it's only been 1 week, okay? These teams still have a lot more improving to do, and they're only going to get better and better, and Team Queso is a great representation of that. Acells, though, will take down Crabyys. The battle for E still underway, but it looks like VQ is going to strike first. They're going to send player 7 down there. And Acells going to go ahead and lock it in with his teammate of Hndles, but it's not over just yet. They're also going for the OE. They're going in for that domination.
Oh man, it would have been over if they would have just both stood in the hill in that last and final moment. Yeah, he was already capped up, but you see D's getting capped up now. It's a dead body in the hill, and even though they're fighting, nobody cleaned up the kill in VQ. They're gonna go to map point.
Map point for VQ, 56 seconds. Can they close it out? Will we see a round 9? I'm impressed with Addvers though. 16-6 for Team Queso. Say what you will, that stat line across the board for all 4 members of Team Queso is looking pretty promising overall. And, you know, that's something, again, that I've kind of been seeing this entire time. You know, VQ, Split 1, they would dominate fights, right? They would just be the most aggressive team out there. They could back off when they need to. They were kind of a, you know, a mixed bag. But one of their things, when they're playing against, you know, teams like Team Queso or any others, they would just push and impin their will on the enemy players. They really can't do that against Team Queso. They're just winning their fights. So VQ is resorting to objective play, right? How can they rotate around the map? What can they do to throw off the numbers?
And Queso needs to resort to some of that objective play as well, because they can't be chasing kills. You know, you know, you get those kills, your opponent goes on a 12-second respawn time, you can acquire a lot of map control, but sometimes you just got to get yourself out some difficult spots first here. Now we see Vital was able to pick up a kill there on Addvers, and they're gonna actually take out Crabyys as well. So 3v2 situation, Reflame's down as well. VQ in a good spot to cap up 2 hills at this point, but you see player 3 in a big fight, and this time around Absenz will win his 1v1 against Precision, and that was a big one for Team Queso.
And still both teams trying to figure out who's going to end up ahead here. For Vital Sam, nice kill on Addvers. Another play from Team Queso. Oh no, what? Vital Sam, definitely not what he wanted. But he definitely missed, man. But sometimes it happens. Either way, though, roast them all you want. No pun intended, because of the flames. VQ still has a 2-to-1 hill advantage.
Yeah, and he's not giving his opponent a free incinerate grenade over there as well. So he tried to go make a play, get impressed by 2 people. That's a difficult spot to be in, especially at this level of Gears Esports. Now Hndles is trying to dodge shots and get out of that pressure and bandstand that you see Reflame's applying, but Reflame has some great support from his teammate and Addvers behind him, so they'll be able to work together, lock in that lower portion of the map. Now knocking on the front door of VQ's home hill. That was a beautiful back A, but just not enough there for Team Queso to take that home hill. But they need to hope that they can put themselves in a bad spot, because VQ know they have a man advantage, and they take their time clearing these corners, and they're gonna give a counter to that last play that Team Queso tried to make.
Looking scary now. You got a 2v2, or at least VQ split up 2-2. You have the 2v1 down low. That's gonna be Reflame. He can't get a touch. VQ's gonna lock it in 5-3. Great split. They got the numbers, as you said, and they used it to their advantage. Hey, honestly, that map showed me more for Team Queso than it did for VQ. They get the victory 5-3, but Team Queso showed a ton of promise. And again, I'm just impressed regardless. But I know they're not going to be happy if they do lose map number 2. But hey, map number 2 is going to be coming up quick. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're heading into map 2, and we're going to figure out, will we see a game 3 or not? Welcome back, everyone, to the Gears Pro League Split 2 Phase 1 Day 3. Map 1 is, well, it's history, man. And VQ ended up victorious 5-3 here on District. That puts us going into Foundation, Team Queso's map pick. But let's break it down a little bit. Maybe I'm being a bit too critical, Blaze. But again, I said this map, for me, meant more for Queso. Despite losing 5-3, they had a lot of promise, and they looked a lot more poised and composed this week than last week. But maybe, like I said, I'm being a bit too critical. Did VQ play well, or did Team Queso keep it close for a reason?
Well, I totally understand why you feel that way, Taylor. You know, Team Queso, they didn't have no wins coming in here. They played against the defending champions, and they took 3 rounds. It says a lot about Team Queso versus on the flip end for Vanquish. You know, we kind of expect them to win this map number 1. They do it in a 5-3 fashion. I don't think that's anything to kind of bat an eye out, or it says anything bad about VQ. They won. Okay, they won.
That's true.
And now we're about to move on to map number 2. They know who their opponent is. They've already got to play 8 rounds against them. Let's see what changes here.
100%. Now, Foundation, a little bit different than District, obviously, but how do you think the chances are for Team Queso here, man? Going into it, this is their favorite map pick, clearly, right? They ended up picking it. This is the one that they want to tie up the series with, but do you think that's a realistic option based on the performance on District?
Yeah, you know, I definitely think it's a realistic option for them. Hey, they say this is their best map. Let's see why, Taylor. Let's see why Team Queso feels like Foundation is going to be the map in which they feel like they can best BQ out-rotate them, outslay them, and show us what they're really made out of. So they need to tie the series up if they want any chance, okay? If not, they're out of here when they lose Foundation. And we're about to be talking about elevating Fire and Ice.
Yeah, 100%. We're already moving on, right? I know Team Queso wants a little bit more of the limelight, but let's point this discussion a little bit further, right? Let's talk about that mid fight on District and how well Team Queso was doing. Can that mid fight be applied to Foundation, right? We typically do see that mid fight. You place a power weapon down there, you kind of point the fight for those engagements. Do you think that's the play for Team Queso? That was something we should have seen on Monday for one of our teams, but we didn't. Should Team Queso apply that strategy here and point the fight to go head-to-head versus VQ?
Well, the player from Team Queso who was in that fight mainly was Reflame, and he was rocking that one spawn. So he was getting there around the same time. I do believe, I think it was maybe Precision or somebody who was getting there towards that mid map. And one thing that I saw from Reflame is that he does not have tunnel vision in that position, and he knows how to disengage from a fight to go give his team numbers in another lane. So on a map like Foundation, you can either break off towards open, you could break off towards close, wherever your squad needs you to. And we know that Reflame is thinking about those tough decisions to make here for his squad. Let's see what happens.
All right, guys, as you know, VQ currently leads the series 1-0. They win one more. It's 2-0. Team Queso, they're taking the L for this match. Of course, they don't want that, and Team Queso needs to fight back on their map pick, but a good start for Addvers. He's going to go ahead and take down Acells and continue to push forward for the overextension. For Team Queso, though, they wasted no time. They're also on Bravo. So I like this positioning. Look, they're going to be able to hold out player 1 and 4 Precision, as well as Hndles. Hopefully, I say that, and as soon as I set it up, they dropped out Absenz with the Lancer Fire. But for player 5, he's going to go. What is player 5 doing? He's going at mid by himself and isolating himself. I assume he's trying to help out Addvers, but Blaze, that didn't make sense to me.
Well, he was probably pressed up already in the mid from that initial fight to start, because he did have a 1v1 in his lane. And when his teammates pushed up, he had to push up as well, trying to get as much map control and fight the best fight that he could. Didn't work out for him. As you see, VQ, they cut back and they won the fight at the neutral. They are now pressing the map, putting the pressure on Team Queso here, and they're on top of the home hill. Trip cap domination was going to come through, but we're going to see Absenz rotate for the decap at D, and Team Queso is going to stay alive in this round.
All right, stay alive. Yes, they will, but still down about 40 or so points, 30, 40 points. And it might grow even further if VQ continues to hold on. They're fighting this home hill of Team Queso fairly well, I would say. Addvers needs to get Vital Sam out of that positioning, but he can't. He's going to be angled out by Acells, who comes from the flank. And while they were convinced with Vital Sam was their main objective, well, they should have been worried about Acells too. And now they're going to be all over Bravo. This might be all she wrote. Player 6 is going to need to get player 3 out, and that's Acells.
Yeah, he's going to try to. Big kill there for Acells. And as you guys see, the round's gonna get locked in. You know, we're missing the sound cues there for the domination, but we're gonna make sure that we keep all you guys there in the chat well informed on what's happening. It might catch us off guard a few times as well, but for the most part, you know, we'll make sure we translate that as best as we can. So secondaries are gonna go down for both these squads, and as you already see, the boys of VQ has struck first.
Yes, they have. And again, VQ typically loses round number 1, right, of the maps they play. So winning round 1 maybe is a great start for them overall, despite it not being their map pick. But Boltox, see how that pays off. Again, Team Queso had a fantastic initial last round. We'll see if they can replicate that success. They're going to be going that 2v2 fight on B. We'll have the Lancer between 6. So Crabyys and I believe Vital Sam there through mid. And then you'll have that statue battle that's going to be between 3 and 7. But Vital Sam, he's not wasting any time. He's going to pressure up onto Crabyys. Crabyys nowhere he can go, but Vital Sam, same situation. But Vital will win that fight. Player 3 wins the fight versus 7. So VQ now, they're going to be on A. And that makes this fight for Bravo so important for Team Queso.
Yes, it does. Vital is going to cut back after winning this 1v1. Pushes back Reflame. But you see Absenz made a big play over there towards the back H. When we were watching Vital's screen as he was approaching this fight at B, Absenz was pushing across, trying to force the 1v1, which he won, then took out the second guy. Vital goes down, and off the back of Absenz, man, Team Queso stays alive.
This is crazy. I mean, Team Queso just literally flipped the script. Granted, they are down a considerable number of points, but they're going in for the domination. You got to get a touch. Vital Sam, stop fighting and get the touch. He thought his teammate would be there, Blaze, but he doesn't. What just happened?
Well, Sam wouldn't be able to run away from that fight anyway. He had to win it. He turns his back. He definitely goes down there. But you know what happens was a beautiful counter there from Team Queso, and Absenz won a 1v2. Vital got 2v1, and I do believe Acells somewhere on the top portion of the map. He got outnumbered as well, and that was just a great response there from Team Queso. And you saw how quickly, man, that round was over. You got to play your life, but even if I was in the shoes of VQ, I would have thought we had no problems winning that round there.
Sure. I mean, well, look, the Pistons fight is kind of where it fell apart. Acells was already on the OE. He was by himself, but he was doing fairly well. But that Pistons fight, Team Queso did fairly well. They ended up pushing through fountains and then rotating over to tree. And then, of course, Acells, he was already gone in that 2v1. So, man, that Pistons fight's made all the difference in the world. Well done from Team Queso. VQ, you got to keep that in the back of your mind, because Team Queso, again, they have that slaying power, much like VQ does. Head to head, it's anybody's ballgame. It literally is a 50-50. So we'll see if VQ is going to play a little bit more passive or a little bit more conservative, if you will, this round, or will they continue with the same old dance, if you will?
Yeah, we're about to find that out right now. As you see, currently 2v2 down low at B, 1v1 mid-map, 1v1 up top. The 1v1 mid-map is getting pressed. Crabyys is trying to find an angle to catch Vital off guard. He's going to be shifting the map on over towards Acells. And now this is also a moment where Vital can say, you know what? I don't need to chase you. I'll go help my teammates at B. But him and Acells decide to make a move on Crabyys in that they may be regretting in this given moment, as Crabyys gets first blood in a round, and he's going to choose to go play for the home hills, flank Acells. So this means that VQ down low at the B hill, they have to press forward. If not, they're just waiting to get 3v2 at that point. So they're going to try to make something happen, shake it up a bit. We'll see if they can win this fight, Taylor. Beautiful shot from Precision.
Oh, it was, but he doesn't get the final one, and that was the important one. Hndles now is isolated by himself, but he gets it down on one, gets the chunk on another. Can he get the finish? He can't. Absenz, despite being full red, is going to pick up that final kill, and now Team Queso, they're going to try and commit onto A, but Vital Sam does a great job pushing them back. Of course, the Acells will join into the mix, and they are not going to let them go without a fight. Addvers is going to finally drop off. Crabyys, I know, has been dropped a couple of times, so he better not get Lancered out, or he might be on his final down. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, Team Queso, they're trying to regain some control, but they're looking spastic. Vanquish already back down on B. They're winning their fights, and we might see, kind of the same thing replicated from last round to this round. VQ, they're about to push in for the domination.
Yeah, and they got two players coming up towards the mid ramp as well. This should be an easy domination for them, but they don't have the. But okay, so they are going to have that position now with C Hill being decapped. Trip cap domination coming through here, folks. You see it's being contested by Team Queso, but all members of VQ on this side of the map, they got this one locked in, 2-1.
And, I love Team Queso. In that moment, they win the initial. They look great. I love the fact that Crabyys, kind of bait and switching with his teammate player 7. And even though his teammate ended up dropping, Crabyys was able to Lancer Acells from behind, take him down, and then get the pickup. And they still had the numbers. They went and tried to commit for the domination. But once that domination tip was kind of thwarted on Pistons, again, that Pistons fight being so pivotal, they kind of spread their numbers way too thin, right? And then now we were looking at VQ, 1v2s, 3v1s, not a good spot you want to be in. It's going to be hard to clutch up. And I felt Team Queso should have backed up, maybe reacquired their positioning, got their numbers back, and faced against VQ, but they kind of freaked out. It is what it is. VQ 2-1.
All right, here we go. Round number 4 here. We're seeing a similar strategy to the previous round. A lot of these secondaries are getting picked up. Nobody's gonna get aggressive here off the start. 2v2 at Pistons, 1v1 mid-map, 1v1 up top like we've seen before. Fido's gonna get a stun on Crabyys, but Crabyys doesn't falter. He doesn't back up. Even when he's dodging, he's moving forward, trying to close the distance here on Vital. He's gonna win the big 1v1, force Vital to have to take his own life. Cross is coming through mid-map, all the way down low at Pistons. That was a beautiful shot there coming from Absenz to help his teammate in that top tables fight. That's going to put the home hill over for Team Queso. They win the 2v2 on top of B. Trip cap domination coming through. Nobody can stop it. We're all tied up 2-2.
Man, well done from Team Queso. That was just an explosive start through and through. Love that Crabyys continued to apply that pressure to Vital Sam, but he didn't stop there. He also went on the flank just in case player 4 decided to get a bit crazy for VQ, but he didn't. He wasn't needed. His teammates and Pistons, there was 2 of them. They ended up taking down that player number 4 on VQ. So, man, great job from Team Queso. And that just comes to show you, man, a great initial can set yourself up for success on a map such as this. And Team Queso took it to bank. Now going into the second half, how do you think the fights change?
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, we may see Pistons turn into a 1v1 fight, and you're gonna see an extra guy go over to our statue if these teams want to shift over that way. But they still can run the same strategy they did the previous round before and play for both home hills if they want to. But we are seeing Pistons turn into a 1v1 fight. The mid lane stays 1v1, and then it's gonna be a 2v2 over at statue.
There's that 2v2 you were just mentioning for Acells. He's going to have that angle. Addvers knows he needs to get him out of there to at least assist Crabyys, and he's going to finish him up with ease. Crabyys now, he's going to be isolated between a rock and a hard place. Nowhere he can go. He should have, maybe could have gone mid, but you don't know who's going to be down there either. Vital Sam, he's going to push Reflame to the brink of the spawn. He's going to take him down. F now in his line of sight. So at this point, Absenz needs to hold on tight because Hndles, he's coming in strong.
Yeah, now he is coming in strong, and he's finishing strong also, Taylor. This is him winning a big fight over towards his home hill. He's going to time out his opponent as long as he possibly can. I love how Acells lets these players run right past him because he's like, hey, you're either going to have to fight me or you're going to go towards the hill as you need to. Another trip cap domination there for VQ.
I think we've seen all trip cap dominations, if I'm not mistaken, for literally both teams every round. This has been pretty crazy overall. And one thing that I'm consistently seeing, despite maybe some mid battles here or there, most rounds are decided by that initial, right? That's how important it was. Again, for VQ, strong initial, they get the domination. Team Queso in the round previously, strong initial, they get the domination. So it just comes to show you, man, those dominations make all the difference. That statue fight, though, if that fight continues to go like it did last round, VQ is going to be in good hands. They did such a great job locking in statue in the streets fight. So we'll see if they replicate that success here. But again, it comes down to precision and Acells. Let's see if they can do it.
Let's see if they can do it indeed here. The front spawn players on this side of the map assisting these guys who are playing top tables to kick off this game here. Reflame beats precision off the start, but that was a team kill that came through. Addvers was trying to get that incinerator grenade behind precision, but ends up taking out his teammate in the process. The cross coming from up top. Vital should get cleaned up here as well. Yes, he will. And now you're going to see a 3v3 left on the map here for now. VQ, they're capping up E, so they're in a position to slow down and be a defensive team if they choose to.
Hndles tried to get a bit squirrely, push up ramp, but he got met with a brick wall, and that was Reflame that took him down. Now you can see Team Queso really trying to push forward. Player 5 is going to be isolated, though, in a 1v2, and he's got to make a decision. Does he want to commit to this? Well, now he has to, but he's going to go ahead and dip out, hide behind H, and not allow precision to take him down. So VQ got a bit of a breather, but not very long. Right now they got to focus their attention onto E. Player 6, he's already getting the break.
Yes, he is. So player 6, he's trying to get that break, but he's getting crossed out by multiple people. But soon VQ has to leave this fight because they're outnumbered and they see the pinch coming through. But with that down on Absenz as he pushes across, VQ, they could have pressed up towards E if they wanted to, but they're going to take the safer play, Taylor. They say, hey, we'll fully disengage, we'll fortify the home hills and take your secondary weapon as well. And we're going to just lock down this portion of the map and count your numbers off the rotation. So you see Hndles back there towards his home hill. He'll be able to get tabs on Addvers. He's actually going to get tabs on multiple other players because you see player 2 on the mini map. He's shifting on over, trying to fill in that gap, make this a 3v3 fight. But will he make it there in time? Big down on the members of Team K. So you see the cross from afar that Acells has. And because of that, the damage comes through. And actually, that was vital with that cross. They still pick up the kills. And now they can push the map, take a 2v1 on their opponent's home hill if they want to, but they're going to choose to play it safe and get E.
Yeah, I think E's the better play here. And obviously, if you can lock in E, you're going to be in good hands. Best offense sometimes, or the best defense is sometimes offense, right? And VQ knows this. They've got a considerable, sizable lead. Team Queso's only win condition is to get on to all 3 hills. the statue fight, it's got to be one. Vital Sound, that's a great kill. Crabyys also falls. He's giving some love because he knows it's over with. VQ is going to lead 4-2. Now, I want to ask you a question, Blaze, with your expertise. Team Queso, instead of trying to lock in, you know, when double home hill was locked in for VQ, instead of Team Queso allocating their resources to take their own home hill back, they sent 3 players through mid to go all the way over and challenge the home hill of VQ. They ended up getting gunned down. Was that the right play?
Yeah, it was the right play in a moment because, you know, once they shifted on over, they felt like they were fast enough to make it in time before the cross came. Now, we saw Vital was able to stop midway towards Pistons and just give a Lancer to the fight, right? That gave him a presence. That made it a 3v3 fight, put his teammates in good positions to get the kills. Now, if Team Queso wants to be patient and do a double cut back, after they cut back towards Fountains, they just stop mid-map, hide their numbers, and get back on through. They could have approached their home hill, but they would have been wasting time. And VQ is doing a good job counting numbers, and that's really where having a smoke at any given time comes into effect, just being able to block off those lanes and effectively shift your numbers back and forth.
All right, 4-2. Is this where VQ wins and takes the series 2-0? And betters their record, I believe, to 2-1. We'll definitely find out if that's going to be the case. They're well on their way to doing so, but D is going to see some attention. Hndles going to win that fight. Now it's going to come up to the home hill of Team Queso. Vital Sound's going to be at the forefront. Acells going to be taken down. So if Vital Sound wins this versus Reflame, they're going to be in good hands. But of course, being that close to Team Queso's respawn, they're just going to continue to funnel in. But Vital Sound's going to stick it. Why not? He's going to take down Addvers. And actually, I think he just locked it in for his team, Blaze.
He could have. Triple cap domination coming through. VQ comes out victorious in this series, 2-0, 5-3 map number 1 district, 5-2 here on Foundation. They did get better after their first map, Taylor. They're going to add another win to the tally.
100% bet, you know, and very well said, Blaze. They got better after the first map. They looked like they were poised, ready to go. Acells 15 and 10, 5 deaths, by the way. 5 deaths for Vital Sound, too. So those stats are going to continue to go up. We were talking about it. Like you mentioned, 54% of the time you walk into him, you're either going to get downed or taken out. And Vital Sound, he's going to continue that stat line forward, upward, and onward. And so is the team of VQ. Again, Team Queso, I think they played much better today than they played last week. Look, when they played against Pittsburgh Knights, they were beat 10-1 round count. They were not looking impressive. But versus VQ, a team that beat Pittsburgh Knights, hey, they were able to at least hold their own from time to time. Their initials look phenomenal, but their mid and late game, their adaptation, their ability to throw out audibles, a little bit lacking, something they need to fix. And, you know, go back to the drawing board for next week or tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be definitely that would definitely be something great to practice in scrims. Those practicing to be quicker on those rotations, masking your numbers, just to be able to play in that chaos and make the good moves. Knowing when to slow the game down, play a little bit faster. But hey, great effort there by Team Queso. It took 5 maps off the defending, 5 rounds off the defending champion here, ultimately. But in the end, I know they wanted more, but it's a great effort, especially when you have such a hard schedule to kick off the Pro League.
And it is such a hard schedule, man. You know, that's the thing, right? They're not going against the teams that kind of came through the Pro League qualifiers or the last chance qualifiers. No, they're going against, you know, the best of the best who never had or never lost their spot in Pro League. So it's not been easy by any means, but you know, look, it's either going to make you stronger or weaker. All right. It's either going to make you put your head in your hands or it's going to make you come out on the other side that much stronger. And well, it's still be decided what Team Queso is going to do. But I can only hope that they take this as a learning lesson and they come back even stronger when they have to play against other teams in the future.